Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to TD Fans Talk, ladies and gentlemen. We are live again today. If you haven't heard so far, I'm pretty sure you have. The third day of mandatory minicamp has been canceled. This is nothing new. This happens actually often around the league. Sometimes they use it for team building activities and different things such of that nature. But the Miami Dolphins did not have camp today, sadly, because I guess we were getting spoiled and I was having fun. Mini camp, even though I wasn't there, just hearing the updates from camp was exciting. I was having a lot of fun doing it. But at the end of the day, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We're on vacation. TD Fans Talk isn't on vacation, but the rest of the team is pretty much on vacation. They will not need to meet again until the end of July. So we have a huge break of no action that's going to be happening on the field for the Miami Dolphins. They will not be practicing. Everyone will go their separate ways, working on their own craft. Basically, what that means is they got a good glimpse at what they can expect in mandatory mini camps, and now they get to come back and let us know, hey, how have they improved in just over a month and a half's time frame? Almost 2 months, but about a month and a half's time frame. So, some people are going to be going on vacation. Some people hitting the beach. Some people training, which I love to hear, and those type of things. So, it's official, ladies and gentlemen. We will have spurtful news. I'm going to try to go live every day regardless on different topics. But this topic, as you can see, we're going to be talking about Kenyan Drake versus Ballage. We went over it thoroughly yesterday, but man, a lot of people had a lot to say to me over the last 24 hours ever since doing that stream. And I do want to set a few things straight, and we're going to do that in just a moment, all right? Appreciate you, Emmanuel. I see y'all in the room, but hey, y'all got to look out for your boy. We on a campaign right now, which is hit that like button. If you don't hit the like button, that means you're a Matt Burke fan. So show your love, hit that like button, guys. But here we are, guys, and the reality is, man, when it comes to Kenyan Drake and Ballage, first and foremost, and whenever you get a chance, not in this chat, but when you hit the comment section of the regular video, you can get out of this part and go to the comment section. Let me know whose team are you on. Are you team Kenyan Drake or are you team Ballage? Put it in the comment section below and let us know what team you're on. It doesn't even have to be the live chat. I want you to go to the regular chat and put it in there and let us know what team you're on, Team Ballage or Team Kenyan Drake, because I know I'm not the only one who favors Ballage more, but I also recognize other people's argument with Kenyan Drake. But I must talk about a few things, okay? What were Ballage's stats? We'll talk about it in just a second. Now, be mindful, I only have 30 minutes, so I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible. I'm going to do more talking than reading the chat. Let me dispel a few things, because some of the Drake lovers, they came and attacked me in the last 24 hours. TD don't care. But at the end of the day, let me make a few things clear. An opinion is an opinion, ladies and gentlemen. If I feel a certain way about something, it doesn't mean I'm hating on someone, okay? But let me say this. Let me dispel a few things that people have the wrong, entirely. Hold on, let me turn this down a little. 1 second. They have an entirely wrong impression of, okay? I'm going to go ahead and talk about a few things that I want to clear up, because some people, they take things a little too far and they have the wrong perception about some things. Let's see. Here we go. Now, I don't mean to jump on anyone in particular, but I feel like they were coming for me yesterday. So I feel like not so much defending myself, but I want to clarify a few points here. Okay. Hit that like button, guys. All right. So one thing in the comment section, I got yesterday was, TD, quit talking in hypotheticals and join us in reality. Let me tell you where this stems from. This subscriber was basically talking to another one of my subscribers and said, don't let TD bully you. And Skaggs is pretty cool. Me and Skaggs is really cool. If you hear Skaggs, appreciate you. What up, Gator TV? Y'all go subscribe to Gator TV, man. He's starting his Dolphin videos. But Skaggs, me and him, we had like a little healthy debate, and this person jumped in and said, don't let TD bully you. He doesn't know the difference. We're going to go off of this. He doesn't know the difference between fact and opinion, and he doesn't look at stats enough to know most teams' second string back have higher averages because they come in hungry and fresh. Because they come in hungry and fresh. I want to say to this person, so you mean to tell me Kenyan Drake isn't hungry anymore? Oh, since he's on his second year, he's not hungry? You mean to tell me just because it's a new running back in his first year, those are the only ones that come in hungry and fresh? You mean to tell me that literally a second year or third year running back isn't hungry? Basically, you're downplaying Kenyan Drake. You're kind of saying he's not hungry. I think Kenyan Drake is hungry. So I don't know what you're talking about. And fresh? These same new kids are coming out of college just like players that played the NFL the year before. And he doesn't look at stats enough. Bro, you got me way twisted. You had me way twisted. I look at stats plenty, but I don't put as much merit into some stats because I am a statistics person. I'm great with numbers, man. It's my field. It's what I do. And I evaluate stats. I'm not going to say like no other, but I'm a very confident person because all I do is give facts. I love presenting facts. And anytime I give you an opinion, I tell you it's an opinion, okay? But whenever you talk about most second string averages are higher because they come in hungry and fresh, Ballage had a 8 TD game in college and still wasn't trusted to be the guy. Give Ballage a bigger workload and see how he does. Drake isn't a power back. He had 5 receiving touchdowns last year, and the great Ricky Williams had 7 throughout his whole career. Drake didn't do amazing up the middle, but he wasn't terrible. I agree with you in your assessment that he didn't do amazing up the middle, but he isn't terrible. I agree with that. Where's the disagreement in that point? I agree with that, okay? But when you say things to me, and you aren't the only way, I'm not going to say who it is, but you aren't the only one. So many people hit me up yesterday and said, TD, when backs only have 40 rushes, their averages are always going to be higher. But whenever they step in and have over 100 or 200 rushes, it always goes down. You couldn't be more false. You couldn't be more false. And you say, TD, don't look at stats? Let me give you a prime example. Guess who had under 50 carries his rookie year? Frank Gore, okay? Frank Gore averaged about 4.6 yards per carry his rookie year. And sounds familiar, doesn't it? And only had less than 50 carries. Oh, but what happened in his second year when he finally had almost 3 times the amount of rushes? Almost 3 times the amount of rushes. He went up to 5.3 or 5.6 yards per carry. Please forgive me. I can't believe I don't remember what I looked up on that, but it was above 5. He went up. So where is this notion that when you get more carries, you're automatically going to go down? Stop the lying. Let me tell you who goes down from their rookie season. Players who aren't as effective. It's just a fact. Obviously, if you're averaging 4.6 in the next season, you go to 4.3, you weren't as productive as you were your first season. Yeah, but TD depend on how many rushes. Then why did Frank Gore come in with less than 50 rushes and then he goes up in yards per carry? Not even triple, excuse me. Way more than triple times the rushes. Okay? Way more. And go look it up for all you stats gurus that TD doesn't look at stats. Go look it up. He improved his yards per carry. Improved his yards per carry, man. And another note, let me keep reading, man. Here was my reply. Some of y'all distort the truth. Example, If I say a man does 5 things well and point out one thing he doesn't do well, since you love that man so much, you call me wrong. I keep on saying that Drake does this well. Drake does that well. He's great passer, catching the ball out of the backfield. I love that he does break for big gains at times. I say the things he does well, but if I point out one thing he doesn't do well, just because you love him, you disagree and tell me I'm wrong. I mean, what notion is that? Okay? And I said Drake is an amazing receiving running back. If you give Ballage more carries and he thrives, then what? What do you have to say if they come in and give Ballage 120 carries this year, which he's going to have, I'm pretty sure, and he thrives even better? Your whole point was nil. Frank Gore is your example. For all y'all that say, TD, you're wrong. When you get a more of a load, your average automatically goes down. You're wrong. Go look at Frank Gore. Go look at Frank Gore. Go look at Frank Gore. Rookie season compared to his second season went up with more carries. And 4.6 as a rookie was pretty good. But it went up over 5. So don't give me that crap. I come with stats. Y'all talk out of your emotion. That's what you call opinion. That's what you call opinion. When you talk out of how you feel about what you believe. So don't say that I don't bring any stats to the table, man. I said, stop acting like no one can be even better with more carries. Plenty of running backs did well with few carries early in their career and became Pro Bowlers later in their career. Just stop misleading my points, okay? Man, I just don't get it. Some people act like they can't comprehend, man. Then he replies to me, quit talking in hypotheticals and join us in reality. And this is what's going to be amazing, y'all. Let me tell you why he says that. Somebody jumped in and defended me saying that stop being sensitive. TD comes with facts and stuff, but I'm not even going to talk about that, okay? But he replies to the person and says, I'm sensitive. You can't handle criticism. TD says whatever coach say, don't think for himself. This person is accusing me of saying what the coach says and don't think for myself. Half of the time I tell you what I think is about to happen and then it actually happens. So most of the time I'm saying it before the coach. So I don't get where that's coming from. This person obviously don't listen to me enough, okay? Or I think it's just somebody who disagreed with me once and I probably called them out on a disagreement and they did get in their feelings. So they look for the things that they can attack on me. I don't know why, but love you anyway. Then he goes on to attack some of the things I said, okay? And some of this is half right that he says. Watch this. Last year, he was saying Tannehill was going to throw for 5,000 yards and both Drake and Gore would be 1,000-yard backs. This dude don't live in reality. He over here calling out his fans saying they don't know football. No, you don't know football. Let's back up for a second. Last year I said Tannehill is going to throw for 5,000 yards. First of all, whenever I start talking about things, y'all know the difference when I'm talking seriously and when I'm pumping my team up because I believe in my team as a fan. And I always tell y'all, when the season started, I told y'all what record I think we'll go. And then I told y'all a realistic one. As I tell you as a fan, and then I tell you realistic. You probably don't pay attention enough or tune in enough. But at the same token, let's keep it 100. Tannehill threw for almost 2,000 yards, playing about 65, 70% of the season. And on top of that, with the offensive coordinator that we were dealing with, and Adam Gase, it wasn't even the real offensive coordinator. Come on, man. I'm not saying this man was going to pass for 5,000. It was a little bit of an exaggeration, and some of y'all may be a little. That was a lot. I get all that. Fine and dandy. But with the team that we had, if we would have stayed healthy, I believe he would have had his best season he's ever had. Now, don't get me wrong. Passing for more than 5,000 yards has only happened 11 times in NFL history. It has only happened 11 times in NFL history. So that was very far-fetched. And you're right. I do recall saying that. I had high hopes for a great team with a great offensive line. But things didn't work out that way. And sometimes things don't mean you were wrong. It only mean you were mistaken. Understand that. One time I thought I was wrong, but I was only mistaken. Hashtag Carter5. Y'all don't know nothing about that. But anyway, but when you come to me and say that I said that Drake and Gore would have over 1,000 yards, let me put this down. I meant that. I meant that last season. I really meant that. I meant that I believe Drake and Gore could literally have over 1,000 yards. And let me tell you why I meant it. Let's look at what they did have. What did Drake have? About 500 and something yards. Gore had almost 800. Frank Gore missed 2 games, might I add, with 800 yards. Also, he had to share the ball with Kenyan Drake. And let me tell you why that's important. Gore would have easily been 1,000-yard back. Frank Gore had his lowest since his rookie year, like 50 years ago, rushing attempts. Put it like this. Out of the last 15 seasons or however long he's been in the league, minus the first year, he had 100 less carries this year than he ever had since his rookie season. 100 less carries and still put up almost 800 yards. You mean to tell me if he was doing his normal work, he wouldn't have got 1,000 yards? It was easy to assume he would have got over 1,000 yards. Out of about 15 seasons plus seasons for Frank Gore, he's only not had 1,000 yards in 3 seasons. Last season, 2 seasons before that, where he had like 967, and like 5 seasons before that, where he had 870 something, and he didn't even play every game. So it was an easy assessment for me to think that Frank Gore was going to have over 1,000 yards this season. Now, Kenyan Drake having over 1,000 yards. I remember what I told y'all yesterday. TD wasn't hating on Kenyan Drake. If you go back and look at the videos a year ago, TD had high hopes for Kenyan Drake. TD knows what Kenyan Drake should have been. TD felt that Kenyan Drake should have been 1,000-yard back, even with a Frank Gore, because I know his potential. If Kenyan Drake wouldn't try to bounce it out for the big play all the time, he would have had a lot more yards last year. Also, he would have had a lot more yards last year if he wouldn't have gotten benched, ladies and gentlemen. Benched. Yes, I said benched. It wasn't a full benching, but on the depth chart, he fell. He fell on the depth chart. Frank Gore started getting majority of the snaps. Go look at his season. Go look at how Kenyan Drake was listed as the starter for the first 5 games, and then he wasn't the starter for like 10 games straight. Then he was the starter again for a few games, only because Frank Gore got hurt. Go look at it. Go look at the depth. Go look at the depth charts week by week, and go look at who were the starters week by week. He lost his position. He started the season as the starter on the depth chart 5 weeks straight. After the Patriots game, sit your behind down. And we talk about averages. I started looking at game by game. Last night before I went to sleep, I just pulled up Kenyan Drake and said, I'm going to talk about this. So let me make sure. Let me see if there's anything else I want to talk about. I looked at every single game he played. I looked at every single snap he had. I looked at every single rush he had in the season. First game. Oh, let me look at play-by-play. There go Kenyan Drake, rushing for -1, get 6 yards. I'm looking at every single game, and I see exactly why he lost his starting position. You were right when you said he did good running through the tackles. It just wasn't amazing. You were right. He actually, when I put it in perspective and not on film, when you just look at the stats, it isn't bad. I never said that it was bad. I just said he could be a better back if he stopped taking as many chances with these wild plays. Like coming around, not going where he's supposed to go and trying to kick it outside and taking negative losses. But I looked at those games. I looked at every single game. And early in the season, one thing stood out for me. Look at the Miami Dolphins. Look at the Miami Dolphins in this game. In the fourth quarter, some of those early games when we start losing, look at in the fourth quarter. They trusted Kenyan Drake. He got so many carries in the fourth quarter. But look at the carries with 2 minutes left and we're down by 7 and we're on our last drive. First play, Kenyan Drake, -3. Second play, Kenyan Drake, 2 yards. There we go. 3rd and 11, Tannehill, incomplete to Kenyan Drake, which was Scott. And I'm not knocking him for receiving. He does well. But in the 4th quarter, he was the go-to guy in many of those games. And don't tell me I'm wrong. These are facts. I looked it up last night. Literally went to bed at 2 a.m. Literally went to bed at 2 a.m. last night. Every single game. Many of his games in the 4th quarter just wasn't productive. And I see why in the 6th game of the season, we went to a heavy Frank Gore. I see why. And then it's another game where he averages 4.6 yards per carry. Look, watch this. It was another game where I'm like, okay, he averaged 4.6 yards per carry in this game. That's not bad at all. That's pretty good. And he only had 46 yards. I'm not knocking him for the yards. The only thing I care about is when his numbers call, what's his average? 4.6. And in this game, he only had like 6 carries. And I was like, okay, like 40-some yards, 6 or 7 carries. And I was like, let me look at the play-by-play. But this was one of his decent games. Let me give him some praise. And I looked through the game, and I'm like, dang. Almost every snap he had was only 2, -3, and 4 yards, 6 yards, -1. How did he average 4.6? Oh, we're down by 10 points in the exact last play of the game. The last play of the game where we're down by 10. The game is over anyway. Oh, he rips off a 25-yard run in the last play of the game. Then I keep going, and that happened 3 times last season. 3 times where he looks not good at all in the whole game. In the last play of the game, we down by 15, we down by 10, and he ripping off runs in trash time. Go look at play-by-play. Don't say TD don't look at stats. Go look at the play-by-play. Every single game, play-by-play. So when you come at me, and you know what? I'm going to be honest. At first, whenever I start talking about Kenyan Drake 2.5, 3 months ago, I wasn't even, you're right, I wasn't looking at stats fully then. It was just the eye test. And so many of you all agree with me. That literally, and somebody say he only had 2 fumbles all season. He actually had 3. But so many of you all agree with me that forget stats. The eye test tells you Ballage just looks better on the field. And that's all I'm saying. Ballage shocks me. I know it's many carries, but every time I seen this kid in the game, and it wasn't trash time, he rips off some really nice runs on top defenses. And the only reason Ballage, and you know what? Another fact I want to bring to some of you all, Ballage shouldn't even get any carries. In the last few years, Ballage shouldn't have got any carries. Do you know why he got the few carries that he got anyway, the 36? Is because in those games where he got most of his carries, Drake wasn't moving the ball. And then he was getting his shot when Frank Gore got hurt and they started Drake and they were bringing Ballage in behind him. And he was showing what he can do. Let me tell y'all something. You show me the video and I'll concede. I never said that Ballage should officially start over Kenyan Drake. I never said such a thing. All I said was, this is going to be a tight race. I favor Kalen Ballage. I favor him as a player right now. Right now, again, let me say it right now, which it can change. It can change. We could be week 3 in the season. I'd be like, no, yeah, they need to play Drake. Ballage ain't that guy right now. But right now is what I be talking about. So hit that like button, guys. So I favor Kalen Ballage right now. I never said that Kalen Ballage should start over Kenyan Drake. My only argument has continued to be Kalen Ballage just needs more carries. He needs to come out of the 36 carries a season to about, because Frank Gore had 250 carries last season. He usually has 300. I mean, he usually has 100 more carries than he had last season. That's a fact. Frank Gore usually has 100 more carries than he had last season, and that's because Drake got those carries. Now, if Drake get more workload because Frank Gore is gone, fine. But that means Kalen Ballage should get about 120 carries this season, upping it. And let's see what his numbers look like this season with a higher carry. So let me back up and say, I'm not saying any of you all that love Drake and disagree with me are wrong. I'm not saying anybody who agrees with me and like Ballage over Drake is wrong. What I'm saying is Ballage deserves more carries. And as this season goes along, we will find out if Ballage should be the guy or not. But truth be told, training camp is going to determine that. Another thing that doesn't work in Kenyan Drake's favor, let's not act like Kenyan Drake is a Pro Bowl caliber running back. Like who bumped their head, lost their mind about that one. We sit here arguing about Kenyan Drake like he's one of the Pro Bowl candidates, like he got snubbed 10 down on the list. Like if 4 running backs go to the Pro Bowl, we sit here acting like Kenyan Drake should have been 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, or 10th. You done lost your freaking mind if you thought that. You act like he was the 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th best in the league. Some of y'all argue with me like he's one of the top tier running backs. If you ask me, he as far as what I see on film, he'll be better off turning into a slot receiver. Keep it 100. Or when we run a 2 running back backfield in a shotgun, let him play it in. You can run him sometimes. You can have him catching out the backfield. He's more of a weapon catching out of the backfield now. He almost had more receiving yards than rushing yards. He's more of a threat catching the ball out of the backfield. But I'm not going to sit here and go back and forth every single day about this Kenyan Drake over Kalen Ballage. There's nothing wrong with the healthy disagreement. Nothing wrong with a healthy disagreement. Only time will tell. But please don't sit there and act like I'm not bringing facts. That's all I try to do every time is bring the facts, statistics, and numbers. You couldn't be further from wrong. All y'all hit me up on Twitter and in my comment section. TD, you're way off. Every running back drops when they get more carries. Why Frank Gore ain't drop? You know why? Because he's going to the Hall of Fame. The great running backs don't drop like that. The great running backs look really good in their rookie season and they actually improve. Let me say that again so I can end this conversation. For everybody who keep hitting me up saying that I'm wrong, every running back when they get more carries and become the guy, numbers drop. Let me get this out one more time, and this is a fact. When you're the guy, your numbers actually improve when you get more carries. When you're the guy. You know why? Because you look good when you weren't the guy getting small carries, and you look even better when they give you the opportunity. That's real running backs. Those are the Pro Bowl running backs. Those are the running backs that you need to actually hug on to and fall in love with for your franchise. Y'all falling in love with somebody that ain't even in a top 15. Y'all falling in love with a not even top 15. I'm not sitting here falling in love with Kalen Ballage. All I'm sitting here saying is the kid deserves more carries to determine if we should fall in love with him. Falling in love with a Kenyan Drake like he's top 15. And some of y'all so blinded, you think Drake got all this NFL running back notoriety because of this. Y'all act like Kenyan Drake was all pro just because of this. This was his highlight of the season, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, simple stuff just like this can elevate you. And y'all drinking the Kool-Aid. Drinking the freaking Kool-Aid. And don't get me wrong. Drake can come out this year and rush for 2,000 yards. TD gonna put the cup down and be like, Drake is our man. That's where you mistake me and you get me misunderstood. I'm not hating on the guy. I'm telling you what I see right now until proven otherwise. So don't say, oh, you hopping on the Drake bandwagon. It ain't no bandwagon to hop on. What you doing right now is what I evaluate. You come in next season, rush 1,200 to 2,000 yards, maybe just even 1,000, and I'm on the Drake train. That ain't hopping ship. That's recognizing what he's doing at that moment, man. It's recognizing what he's doing at that moment. Y'all looking at that's just like if I dog Josh Rosen right now, his lovers are gonna attack me. Oh, TD, you don't know football. We talk about what we seeing right now. Why can't y'all understand that in your mind? That's all we talking about. Falling in love with a guy that ain't even top 15 running back in the league. Anybody want to argue that? For all y'all to tell me I'm wrong, do you want to argue that with me? Top 15? I ain't talking about whether we believe he can be. Do you want to argue with me about whether he's a top 15 right now? Because the top 15 don't get his carries taken away by an older Frank Gore. And Frank Gore was beasting, but at the end of the day, we talk about youth and hungry legs. Still wouldn't put in better work than Frank Gore? Come on, man. Come on, man. Arguing with me about that. I should have started the video saying that. We sitting here arguing about somebody that ain't even a top 15 running back. And I'm not even dogging the kid. I just said that Ballage deserves more carries. And I favor Ballage because he looks more explosive. Oh, the younger guys are always more hungry and whatever you say, excited or passionate. Oh, so you mean to tell me I'm supposed to praise somebody that lost that? So only the young guys? Why can't he maintain it? That hunger. It don't make no sense, man. At TD Fans Talk, it's only a couple months until the NFL comes back, so we can only hope the Dolphins don't suck. You're right about that, man. Preach it, bro. I'm trying. Nice sales pitch. I ain't got to sell it. Facts are facts. You don't have to sell facts. You ain't got to sell facts at all. That's like shopping for car insurance. If both companies giving you the same thing with the same coverage, one of them $200 a month and one of them $100 a month, why you got to sell the $100 a month? You only got to sell $100 a month to people. I don't want to call them idiots because that's rude and mean. But you know what I mean. You only got to sell the $100 a month to somebody who just ignorant. That's a better word. And some people so ignorant that they don't even understand what the word ignorant means. I be like, bro, you ignorant. Don't be calling me ignorant. They act like you call them a racial slang or something. Ignorance just mean that you ain't educated in a specific subject. Talk to my wife all the time. Hey, can you grab this out of my makeup thing? Well, baby, I'm ignorant to all that makeup stuff. That don't make me dumb. Ignorant ain't dumb. It just means you ain't educated to a specific subject. Gosh, man. Man, knows that we sit here arguing about somebody ain't even top 15. Ain't even top 15. And y'all getting y'all panties in the britches. You know why you're getting them in the britches? Because of this. Because of this. Y'all thought this was Pro Bowl caliber. Some of y'all probably be like, oh, Kenyan Drake got snubbed for the Pro Bowl. Why you think he got snubbed for the Pro Bowl? Did you not see the Miami Miracle? And might I add, the man ain't. Another thing, I was half asleep last night looking all this stuff up. Another thing, the man ain't never. Listen, y'all, the man ain't even never have a game rushing more than 60 yards. He didn't even have a game over 60 yards. Ladies and gentlemen, did you hear me? The man never rushed the game over 60 yards and they arguing with me. Ain't had a single game over 60 yards. Ain't had a single 100-yard game. At least Ballage had one. At least Ballage had a 100-yard game. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is crazy. I digress, man. Thank y'all for tuning in to TD Fans Talk. They canceled practice today, man. I'm about to cut this off, man, and go take care of some errands. If I get an opportunity, I'm gonna go live on my phone later and hang out with you guys. Drake didn't start in college either. He used 2 special teams. Listen, Drake still emerged. I'm proud of the kid. He has come a long way. Drake has still emerged in this league, and I want to see him take that next step this year. Next step. Ball out, my kid. But don't sit here and argue with what's right in front of you, y'all. Don't argue that, all right? But this TD Fans Talk. I'm out, y'all. I got some things I got to take care of, man. I will see y'all later. That's it. But this TD Fans Talk. Love y'all, love y'all, love y'all. Drake got bigger and stronger. I hope that's for blocking, Pete. And hopefully that means he's going to go through the tackles instead of running around the corner, because that means he's probably a little slower. When you gain weight, you do get a little slower. Facts. Period, man. All right, guys. I'll come at y'all later with some more news. We still got to do the Rosen and Fitzpatrick conversation. We're going to have that pretty soon, but I do have to go. Love y'all. The baby's in there tearing stuff up. I can hear him now. Peace. I'm out. Love y'all, man.